like to call the meeting to order. Could I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. Craig is not here. Mrs. Fields?
Here.
Mr. Hyden?
Here.
Mr. Nuss?
Here.
Mrs. Van Zandt?
Here.
Mrs. Steele?
Here.
Mrs. Stoll is not here. Ms. Whitty? Here. Mr. D'Agostino?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Can you please join me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the school building, and notice of said meeting sent to the New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger.
The Sussex-Wantage Regional School District is a responsive, caring, child-centered community. Our mission is to educate each individual to become a competent, lifelong learner and productive, responsible citizen by providing challenging opportunities in a safe environment through leadership of families, schools, and communities.
At this time, we'll move on to the report of the superintendent.
We'd like to invite Mr. Schwartz up to the podium to present our Students of the Month and possibly Superintendent Roundtable Award winner.
Good evening, Mr. Gall, Mr. D'Agostino, members of the Board of Education, and members of our audience tonight. It is with great pride that I stand before you tonight to present the Students of the Month. Every month I have the pleasure of meeting with each of these individuals, and during these meetings I am able to gain insight into their hobbies, favorite subjects, and extracurricular activities that they participate in. Each of these students tonight have been highly recommended by their teachers. As I introduce you to each student, I will provide a brief snapshot of the wonderful accolades that have helped them earn the Student of the Month. In 6th grade this month, the recipient is Avery Olinger. When I sat with Avery, she told me that her favorite class was science. She explained that she enjoys her teacher and the engaging science labs. We discussed a particular lab where students need to design a 3-story building that could withstand an earthquake, something that Avery really enjoyed. When Avery gets older, she would like to pursue a career in journalism. When speaking about writing, she indicated that she has always enjoyed the subject matter, with a particular interest in poetry. As we were discussing, she indicated that she likes reading poetry as well as writing. Here at SMS, Avery has been a part of our field hockey team, cheer squad, and an integral role in our musical, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Avery's teacher stated the following: she's a diligent, conscientious, and respectful student. Avery is a leader in the classroom who is modestly high achieving. She is also extremely cooperative, displaying kindness and helpfulness towards others. It is with great pride that I introduce Avery as the 6th grade student. Congratulations. Great job. In 7th grade this month, the recipient is Sophie Teitzman. When I sat with Sophie, she told me that her favorite classes were gym and reading. Sophie indicated that she enjoys gym because she likes being active. When discussing reading, Sophie indicated that she enjoys fiction mostly. Sophie told me that she would like to become a teacher or work in an animal shelter. One thing is certain, whether she is caring for her chocolate lab, her friends, or her family, Sophie has a big heart and is always looking to help others. Here at SMS, Sophie is part of our field hockey team. She also enjoys soccer in her free time, as well as drawing and painting. In addition, she is part of Girl Scouts, where she is currently working towards her silver award. Sophie indicated that the best aspect of school was the opportunity to learn new things that she can utilize later in life. Her teacher stated the following: Sophie is a hardworking and dedicated student. She was out of school recently for a week and made sure to catch up on all of her work without any questions asked. It is with great pride that I introduce Sophie as a 7th grade student. In 8th grade this month, the recipient is Madison Sales. When I sat with Madison, she told me that her favorite classes were science and technology. Madison indicated that she really enjoys both of her teachers and the content that she is working with. Simply put, they are really fun. Madison is not quite sure what career she would like to pursue. She really enjoys photography as well as the science fields. She is excited to move into high school next year where she can continue to explore her interests and develop a better sense of her career path. She's also looking forward to pursuing volleyball in high school. She knows that there's a team at High Point now and is looking to try out in the future. Outside of volleyball, Madison was one of 2 SMS student directors for this year's play. Her leadership and organizational skills, as well as her sheer determination, were all on display as she worked to run this year's production. Outside of theater and volleyball, Madison loves to write, draw, and take pictures. Her teachers stated the following: Madison displays 100% effort all the time in all aspects of her life. She's a deep thinker, caring, intuitive, and insightful. We are all excited to see how far she goes in high school and beyond. As we say goodbye to Madison at the end of the year, I can say that she has had a tremendous impact on her teachers and peers along the way, and she will surely be missed. It is with great pride that I introduce Madison. Tonight we also have another award, the Superintendent's Roundtable Award. I see him in the back. This award is given yearly to an 8th grade student. I'm going to say a few words about this year's recipient, and we will present him with a certificate as well. Over the past 2.5 years, there has been one individual that consistently comes to Sussex Middle School with a smile on his face. A student who day in and day out is eager to learn and make a positive impact on those around him. This year, when it came time for the committee to select this year's Superintendent's Roundtable Award winner, it came as no surprise that they chose this same individual, Joel Morales. Joel has been a dynamic student and will continue to stand out as he moves on from Sussex Middle School. He has been continuously involved in working with his peers, teachers, and community, and has demonstrated great leadership skills throughout his time at Sussex Middle School. Joel's commitments to his academics is evident in all subject areas. He is fully invested in every one of his classes every single day. He has a rigorous course load, taking advanced sections in science, social studies, algebra, and reading and writing workshop. At Sussex Middle School, Joel has played an integral role in our National Junior Honor Society and Student Council. As a member of these organizations, Joel has volunteered at Bristol Glen in Newton, the Harvest House, and assisted with the school talent show, our activity nights, the 8th grade dance, and school spirit days, and also served as a liaison to other students during many school functions. Joel has participated in our band where he has excelled playing the trumpet for the last 3 years. He has also taken the lead in launching our news media production as part of his journalism class, where he has taken an integral role in filming and editing. In addition, Joel has also taken on a key role as our stage crew for the production of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang at Sussex Middle School. It is clear why Joel is receiving this award. He's conscientious, diligent, determined, organized, goal-oriented, adaptable, and reliable. He is a team player who has immersed himself in academics and extracurricular activities. He has been able to develop a set of skills and personal attributes that will continue to follow him into high school and beyond. He takes his role as a student very seriously and often goes the extra mile. I can speak for all who have come in contact with him and say congratulations on this well-earned award. Congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to take another moment to recognize someone else who's done an extraordinary thing. It's kind of a night of awesomeness with all the folks here and the kids. So it's been a great experience for me to kind of see Mr. Schwartz's career come full circle. You know, you rewind about 8 years, I was principal of the Wantage School, and he was a third grade teacher with us. It was right around the same time of year, and at that time we were going through some challenging financial constraints in the state of New Jersey. And basically when you go through those things, the superintendent comes to me and makes some decisions, and you know, at that moment, Mr. Schwartz was going to be reduced, and we weren't going to be able to offer him a contract the following year. Through it, you know, my response to the superintendent was like, well, this is the best teacher I have, if not, you know, top 1, 2. And it's just unfortunate in those circumstances, but through a simple twist of fate, we were able to bring him back on staff. And now, 8 years later, he's being recognized as Principal of the Year. And I'd like to give him a big round of applause. So just to give you a little background on that, he's selected by the New Jersey Association for Middle Level Educational Administrator of the Year. So it's not just the Sussex-Wantage award that I give to one of the principals in the district. It's throughout the state. He was recently honored at Kane University. And the association serves to honor the sanction and performance, skill and practice, and passion and participation of administrators. At the ceremony, it was noted that this year's administrator is commended for building a positive school culture while allowing students and staff to truly have a voice. He truly embodies the whole child approach. He makes sure that students' social, emotional, along with academics, are of the utmost concern. And when he got the award, you know, I go down and I have a conversation with him, and he totally, you know, was extraordinarily humble, and you know, basically put it back on the staff that he works with, the kids that he works with, the parents that he works with. Mr. Schwartz would like to invite you up. Receive your recognition.
So, Mr. Gall, I just want to thank you, and I'll tell everybody here tonight that is a true story. He just said that, true story.
Don't tell us a lie.
So, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Board of Education, parents, guardians, staff, and students for the opportunity that I've had to work in this district. The Sussex-Wantage School District is a place that I have called home for over 10 years, and is a place where I've grown as an educator. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by the phenomenal people that we have here in our district every day. Serving this community is something that I take great pride in, and I can't thank everyone enough for their support along the way. The New Jersey Association of Middle Level Education Administrator of the Year Award is given to one person, but without each and every one of you in this community, it would not have been made possible. I look forward to continuing to serve alongside each of you for the betterment of our children and community for many years to come. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. Thank you. At this time, as always, we love to have everyone stay for our board meeting. If you chose not to, it's good to give you the opportunity time to leave.
And while you guys are here, you did an awesome job. I know many of the board members saw the play. It was an unbelievable production, so round of applause for you guys.
I'm going to grab you guys for a picture. You for a picture.
So I just want to take a minute to update folks on a couple of goings-on. I did have the opportunity, as Mr. D'Agostino noted, to attend some special events in the community. In between our board meetings, CEO Family Reading Night was extraordinary. We had a great turnout. The SMS musical, Chitty Bang Bang, one of the students, as Mr. D'Agostino indicated, participated, but Madison Sales was also the student director. It's always very cool for me when you have flashbacks to when they were in third grade as little kids coming up to you, and now they're running to play. And more recently, last night, Wantage School had a Science Rocks musical. It became standing room only last night at Sussex Middle School, so that was great to see. You may have been present for former board meetings where we talked about CPAG. This is a special education parent advisory group. Is doing some fundraising, and we are going to pilot putting one of those donation bins. They like to have them in all 3 schools, but I'd like to pilot it at 1 school just to see how our relationship with the organization goes. The company sponsoring the bin, not CPAG. Our CPAG relationship is great. So we anticipate that being placed at Wantage School. We vetted that with our facility director, our principal, and consulted our security personnel on that too. Want to apologize for some more recent transportation inconvenience. Parents may have gotten a phone call this morning about unanticipated driver being illness, or when we have those situations when we don't have a substitute driver, we double up runs, so maybe minor delays for select buses in those instances, and we apologize for that. To report out on some committees, policy and buildings and grounds didn't meet this month. We didn't have many items to discuss at the moment. And we actually, in a moment, will have a policy expert from New Jersey School Boards Association do a presentation for us about their service. Community Outreach Committee did meet. Chairperson Ms. Stoll, we met to discuss how we can best forge a working partnership with the community. In particular, this meeting focused around forging a partnership with senior citizens, some ideas that folks had. There's also an idea that some teachers had for a long time now at the Wantage School was coordinating a senior citizen event, senior citizen prom based on like a USO theme, kind of build on something they already do there called the Senior Citizen Luncheon, or alternate between a function like that, possibly hosting it here at Sussex Middle School. So that's something we're throwing around as far as ideas, but it's in the infancy. Naming a senior citizen of the year who's impacted the district or community. And we also brainstormed doing some kind of community volunteerism day, in particular at Sussex Middle School, to try to enhance the front facade, plantings, and things of that nature. So there'll be more information coming about that at some point in the near future. Curriculum and Special Services Committee met, and we focused on discussions of a couple of topics. One of them in particular is New Jersey CUSAC. That's a state monitoring process where the county office will come down, typically for a day or two, to the district and kind of, meet with administrators and select staff and kind of conduct like a mini audit of all the happenings of the district. So we're busy preparing for that. That happens every so many years. We also received positive reviews from a math consultant. One of the goals that we talked about in the past was a multi-year goal to enhance, in particular, our delivery of math instruction, in particular at Sussex Middle School. So we're receiving positive reviews of that. Also, a little bit of sad news. This week we unexpectedly lost one of our teacher assistants, passed away. And I know I speak for everyone up here that our hearts go out to Ms. Welsh's family. She's a great lady. I had the opportunity to work with her. And I know that I joined Wantage School staff, the district, in just saying our hearts go out to the family. And if there's anything we're in a position to help with, we will. And as more information becomes available about services and things like that, we'll put it out to our staff. And at this time, we'd like to invite Mr. Lou, pronouncing this Lou Schmenti?
Schmenti, Schmenti,
Okay.
Schmenti, really.
Schmenti, great. Yeah.
I'm-
Well, I want to
I'm
say
the
it right. Talk to us a little bit about, if you've been to board meetings before, there are basically 2 policy providers in the state of New Jersey who write policies for boards of education. One of them is Strauss Esme, that's the current firm we use. Another one is New Jersey School Boards Association. And he's here to talk to us about his policy writing service. Now, you need to take a little intermission and put the screen down. Are you good? Or?
Well, I can talk, and whatever you want to do on,
I get
this way, I don't have to wait for it to boot up. I don't want to take too much of your time. I was a board member for 5 years. I got a lot going on, and some people here today. Just want to tell you a little bit about New Jersey School Boards. We've been writing policies for over 100 years. When we contract with New Jersey School Boards, we're contracting with New Jersey School Board, not just the policy department. We have our legal department, we have our labor relations department, we have our relations, and our field services. So when we're looking at policies, so if we're looking at your policies, if things don't look right in the policy, we have the legal people to talk to. We have a labor relations people to talk to. We have our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the state. We had Steve McGettigan, our manager of policy, sit on the anti-bullying commission. So we had a voice on that commission, and our policy has never been challenged. We have Gene Harkness, who sits on a number of committees in the Department of Education. Matter of fact, when the state was looking to do something with the social media policy, our social media policy was brought to the government, to the legislature by our governmental relations committee. So that was used there. We're talking about our transgender policy. Our transgender policy is actually recommended by the Civil Liberties. Other vendors had to change their policies to make it more adaptable. So if you contract with New Jersey School Boards Association and say you get the full governance of New Jersey School Boards, what would happen is we will look at your policy manual, we will see what is just a Strauss estimated generic policy, and we will switch you to our policy. This way, when we send you the updates, you can compare apples to apples. If there's discretionary content within that policy, we will take that discretionary content out because you put it in there for a reason. We will make sure that it's in your new policy. If you have a complete discretionary policy that's yours, we will keep that. We have policy consultants. You'll be assigning someone within your district to be kind of like the liaison person. So there's a lot of talk and a lot of interaction. We come across a policy and you're looking at your handbook and see it doesn't match. We would ask you, what's your current practice? What would you be doing? Once the policy manual is written, you're going to get a paper copy and you're going to get an electronic copy. And then everyone we put on the policy alert list. The difference between us and other people out there is that we don't limit the number of people that can contact New Jersey School Boards. If somebody has a legal question, somebody has a policy question, somebody has a government relations question, or a legal question, anybody, any board member, any administrator can call New Jersey School Boards and ask. Right now, if you are thinking about developing a policy or a regulation, what we do is we help you and guide you through that process. We come up with some sample wording for you, work with you to kind of work with that policy and develop something that's true to you. And we would do that now as members. So once we have everything organized, you're going to be getting policy update alerts. And I'm going to show you what they look like in a minute. So once we send them, they're going to be both marked up and clean. The marked up version is going to show you, what's being changed in policy, and the clean version is going to be clean look. So what I want to do is, anybody have any questions about the process before I get into what the updates look like and what the whole website looks like with the updates, the policy version resource page. The process is pretty straightforward. It's just, we would take your policy, work with you, change whatever needs to be changed. We're a little different, where we don't have to send out updates. We're not for profit, basically. So we don't have to justify anything. You're not paying anything for your updates. When the law changes, when the legal department tells us that there's a case law out that we need to change the policy, our labor relations tell us that there's a new purpose decision that we need to change something. When our government relations say there's a new law coming up, we constantly changing our policies. But what we do is we kind of skinny your book down a little bit. For example, you have a 3,000 and 4,000 section that has your personnel. What we do is make it one. About 80 to 85% of those policies are duplicate policies. So anything 4100, say 4100.00 is certified scan. Anything 4200, and I'll show you what I mean. Anything 4200 is non-certified. So if you have a policy that touches both, we make it 4100/4200. It makes it a whole lot easier when your updates have to come out. Right now, I believe you probably have about 3 nepotism policies in your manual. We have one that covers everything. So when you're updating a policy, you only have to update that one policy. You don't have to update 3 or 4 different policies. It just makes things easier. What we also do is we don't create policies just to create them. Good example is that is domestic violence. The law says that you have to have curriculum for domestic violence from 7th to 12th grade. What we did is we put it in our curriculum policy. We didn't adopt a whole new policy to go along with it. Now, if you wanted to have a regulation with that, if you want a standalone policy, that's fine, we can do that. But we didn't have to create a new policy because it fit within one of our policies already. And it just makes your policy manual is big enough already. And to make it more cumbersome is really not what we want to do. We want to make it easy, we want to make it painless, and we want to make the whole process run smoothly. So if you ever have any questions, and I don't know if anybody ever called our policy department. We have Gene and Steve there, and they're excellent. And they take care of whatever you need to take care of. Ready? Okay. So once your policy manual is written, we're going to send you updates. And I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. This part of it is free. It comes with the service. All right? So once we update a policy, we will send you out an email alert saying that the policy has been updated to go to the website and sign on. So what you would do is just come onto our website, go to policy, and you'll see Access Tools Management. And what you do is just sign on. Once you sign on, right now what you see are these two. The Critical Policy Reference Manual, which is all the required policies that you had to have, the sample policies, legal reference pages and that. We have a policy update list that tells you what policies have been updated, and it goes back to 2013. These are just the generic ones. These links link you back to the policy reference manual. They don't give you a marked up link. Now this is the new tab that you'll be getting. This is where your alerts are. When you come on here, you have your policy alerts. You have our policy newsletter that we put out. We put out a monthly newsletter. Comprehensive equity plan. Some information about that, but what's important about that is we have a crosswalk in there showing you where all our policies fit within the comprehensive equity plan. So you don't have to go guessing and trying to find it. It's all there. Mandated training list. This list here gives you a list of all mandated training for both board members and staff. It gives you the policy references, it gives you a legal reference right there. Why is mandated. QSAC list. It's a crosswalk telling you where our policies fall within QSAC. Legal links. What we have here is New Jersey statutes. You have all New Jersey statutes, not just 18A. And you have all administrative codes, not just 6 or 6A. And then you have some school ethics decisions here. We have some sample discretionary policies and regulations. We also have required regulations, copies of that. And this is where we have a resource. So what's in this resource is we have primary resources, secondary resources, exhibits, and this kind of explains what it is. The primary resource is anything from the DOE, secondary resources, some statutes, and exhibits, as you see here, We have forms, accident forms, we have signs, some of them have signs, letters, consent letters, suspension. So we have a lot of neat tools here for you guys to use. Like I said, this comes with the service. Once we finish writing your policy manual, you would be have access to this. So when you sign on, you'll see all of it. And let me just show you what the updates look like. Here's a 2019. So what we just did is we just sent out a discretionary policy. It's not required by law. You don't need to take it. Matter of fact, this school identification, they just changed the, when it first came out, it says shall have a policy. Now it says may have a policy. So if you give out student IDs, you may have a policy. So it's, you come here and you have it both in Word format, and if you have the online policies, which is part of the board doc service, you'll have the policy within that system, so you can use it within the system. I'll show you how that is. But just to show you. So here's the policy that we updated back in March. So, new content. We didn't cross anything else. Anything new is going to be highlighted. Anything that was taken out is marked up. So you'll have it there, and you'll also have it in a Word format if you want it in Word. Scroll all the way down. It's right here in Word. So, like I said, we just added this. Now, if you come over here to just trying to find something. I was trying to find something that's crossed out, but it's just anything that's structural, you get rid of, and then you'll have it clean. So you have all the updates going back to 2012. Not that you need them, but they're there. And again, all of this is part of the service. You have the sample regulation, marked up regulation, clean regulation, and the policy. So what you do is you take the markup, and the nice thing about it is you'll be notified as board members, the administrator will be notified, and you can just go in without waiting for the policy committee or if someone come back to see what changes are being made. So, any questions about the policies, alerts, and resources, and the process so far?
So Lou, this interface is for us as a client, right, to go in and do stuff. You know, part of what we do is post our policies online. Would it be incumbent upon us to post like PDF files, or do you have
I'm going to show you.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the system right now. In fact, let me just get this. So we do offer an online policy service. It's an online policy maintenance and publication service. This has 3 views. This has a board's view, an editor's view, and it also has a public view. This is just long because it's direct to our tests. You would get a link. Front page here is whatever you want it to do. There's ways to change that, and I'm not going to go into all that. I'm just going to get into. This is our online maintenance and publication service. We're using the board docs as a vehicle for it. We maintain it. We upkeep it. If you do have board docs or consider getting board docs in the future, it all kind of meshes together, and that's the reason why we went this way. As you can see here, you have your policies, all that stuff that I showed you on the other site, they're all here. So you don't need to go onto our website, you did it once you,
The updates, being that we're now customers of Strauss S&A, would the updates just date back to today, or would they still reach back to?
No. No, you're gonna get, the updates are just generic updates.
Not updates specific to Sussex-Wantage?
No. Sussex-Wantage doesn't give you one specific to you either.
Right, I just thought that.
Yeah, it's just, it's gonna be a generic one showing you, and what you need to do is you need to kind of, to put those updates into your policy. And I do have 2 videos showing you how to do that. And we have tutorial videos here in case you forget how to do something. You say, well, how do I retire a policy again? How do I do this? How do I do that? It's all here. So all of that's right here. I'm working on changing this because it says critical policies. Well, it's the critical policies and the required regulations and discretionary policies.
So is this the interface a parent would see if they went to go look up a policy?
Who's that, public?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you
Oh,
that.
okay.
This is the background. This is what the board members are gonna see.
Okay.
And anybody that you give access to the back. All right? So you have your active policies here. What's nice about this is you can have as many books in here as you want. You can have your standard operating procedure books in there. If you want to take your regulations out and make it a separate book. You have your policy. You can put any book that you want. Your student handbooks in there. You can put anything in this. And then when you search, which I'll show you later, you have the ability to search across the board. So you can search, when you do a search, you click on whatever books you have, and it's going to search everything. So you have your active policies. So now when we update a policy, we'll send you an email telling you that we updated whatever policy. What you would do is you would come here, you would right-click on it, duplicate it. Now automatically it's put into your draft file. So you do, whoever's in charge of maintaining your policies can go in here, mark up everything, make it yours, put all the updates that we're giving you in here. Come in here, and like I said, if you wanted to create a new book, you can create a new book. The section is going to be here, and take away that. Now, the status, active and retired, stay in it. All these other ones, you have the option of making it whatever you want. So what you can do is, you can mark this first reading, put today's date in here, or whatever date, it doesn't make a difference, put a date, and click on save, and then you can tell your board that, okay, we have the first reading. If you go into the 1000 series, the first reading's there. Right? So now it comes down where you want to adopt this policy. And second reading, final adoption, and the beauty with this, and nobody else has this, is your retired policies. If something happens and you change a policy, and for some reason the district is sued, or there's a court case, or there's something going on that you need that old policy, what this does is automatically creates a book on it, and it keeps it for you. So you never lose it. So what you would do is, you would come over to your active policies, you would retire this policy, put today's date, so you wouldn't let me do it because I didn't have a field. So now it's in your retired policies. So you go back to your drafts, and you make this active, okay, and now it's back into your active folder. Once you make something active, the public can see it. Anything in the back, anything draft, anything retired, the public can see it. So if you go to your retired policies, you'll see that, you go back and you'll see the date that it was retired. So every time, I don't think I have a duplicate here, but anytime you retire something here, this one here was retired December 7th, this one here was retired today. So you can go back and it keeps all the old policies for you. So if you ever need them, it automatically creates that. What you can also do is if you want to share this policy, like right here, you can share it by email, you can share it by URL link. There's also the ability to share it on Facebook, Twitter. I don't know about that, but I shut those off. Some districts like them, some districts don't, but you have the ability to turn them on, turn them off, whatever you want to do. So if somebody's asking for a copy of this policy, you can just email it right to them. So what I was saying about the search is, this is the behind the scenes. So there's only one book here. So there's minutes here because it's a board effort, there's no book. So if you search, you get anything that has the word discipline. So you open it up. And another thing is I would do this originally when I set this up. I link all the statutes. So here's the statute, okay, I knew what the statute is, you get out. All the codes and the statutes are all linked. So if you click on it, it takes you right there. What this is here, Board Docs is in 23 states. They have over 2,000 clients. You want to search to say, okay, what's other schools around the United States doing on this or that? You put it in, it's going to search everybody that's in the Board Doc system. So you're going to search their policy. If you wanted to search New Jersey, what you would do is just put NJ. If you wanted to search policy, you just put policy. Because Board Docs is more of an agenda item thing, so you're going to see, if you do that, you're going to see a lot of agenda stuff. So these are New Jersey schools that use Board Docs. You go to Jersey Cities, and there's Jersey City. There's in their policy. So, to give you the public view, any questions about behind the scenes? What you have here is you assign one, maybe two people who can actually edit the policies. And then you give your other principals, the board members, the ability to go behind the scenes and see what's back there. They can't edit anything. So when you come on, when the public comes in, you'll be given this link. So, see, notice the first thing is there's no drop down. So you just click on here and they get the policies or whatever other books you get with. So they can look at your policies. They have the ability to, see Twitter, Facebook. You can shut all that off. Send an email. The public has that ability.
And they can search just a basic term like discipline, like you did.
Yeah, what that's going to do is that's going to search your policy manual.
Yeah.
They have the ability to search, or they can come up here and search. So there's two. You also have the ability to do that too on the other side. So So you can search here, or you can search here. This is just gives you more options to search. You don't have minutes in this, so you can take the minutes off. This is gonna search any attachments that you have here. What you can do, let's see, I don't know if I did it, but you can attach things to the policies. You see how I attached when I did the markups and the clean, and I attached the Word documents to it? Say if you have the facility use, you can attach your, there's a regulation, that's the policy, you can attach to one of these, say if you have an application, you want to put the application in there, you can attach that to it. So you can do it as PDF. I recommend it more as a PDF than trying to put that into the system. So then you can print. Again, this is all the public, so the public is, you know, if they have a question about what's this law, they just click on the law and it's gonna take them to the that's a little slow, but it's good.
I think it was a pretty thorough overview. I don't know if anybody
Like I
has
said,
any
I know you got a lot of other things to do, kinda went over everything pretty quick, but I just wanna make sure that you guys understand it, you're comfortable with it, and if you have any questions, I wanna make sure I answer them before I leave.
I guess one of the reasons why we thought to reach out to school boards was because when we were reviewing a particular policy, it was indicated that it was mandated through job sets.
Okay.
And
I'll touch on that.
so we went to a seminar the other night, and I had asked a bunch of other school board members, how many people have job assessment? And everybody has job assessment. I said, how many of you know that this policy is not mandatory? And only one person knew in the room that the policy was not mandatory.
They
So,
do that a lot. You know, we declare a policy mandated if the law says that the district shall have a policy. In cases where it's mentioned and you need to take some kind of action, we mark that policy as other reasons. It's the same thing with the student ID. I'm sure once the update comes out, because the law talks about it, it's gonna be a mandated policy. There's not
there
that
should
many
be no
mandated
question, there
policies.
should be no question though,
Yeah.
with your service, that when it's mandated, we could
Yeah.
rest
There's
assured
gonna be
that
three
it's
boxes,
mandated.
and I should have showed it to you. There's gonna be mandated, there's gonna be monitored, which means it's monitored either by QSAC or some other state monitoring, or other reasons. The other reason is, there's case law out there, might be that a district was sued for some reason, and we think it's a good idea to have a policy on that. It might be something like where it's mentioned in the law. You don't really have to have it, but we kind of recommend that you have a policy on it. So it's not mandated, it's just for other reasons, you know, so, and like I said, it doesn't stop there. And even if we write your policy manual, our policy consultants, our labor department, our legal department, they're there for you. Jean's great. If you call her up and say, I need a policy on job throwing, she'll find policy, and matter of fact, she did. Some district needed a job throwing policy. I don't know why, I don't know what happened in the district, but she went and she worked it out with the district and sat down and went back and forth and kind of worded it with them. You know, and you're not in it alone. Never forget, even if you stay where you are, with your dues, you're entitled to this. You know, so I have a spreadsheet in there showing you how much of a savings it is. So over, I mean, yeah, it's an initial chunk, that policy manual written, but after 3 years, it pays for itself. So all the prices are there. I believe the prices I quoted for the competitor, and I don't want to get into name form, I believe that they're pretty accurate. They were accurate at the time I did that. But the booklet itself in there kind of goes through the whole process, everything that I was just talking about, tells you that. So, as I said, once we write the policy manual, if you don't want to do anything else, you're going to get your policy updates and all the policy alerts for free. You know, you gonna have to pay for it.
And how long is, if we were to choose that, how long is the conversion time?
Right now, I think they're working on a couple different policies. The contract is gonna say, because our general counsel wants it to say, 6 months. That kind of gives us time in case something happens in the state, or we have to commit. Usually the turnaround is probably about 3 months, if they're not busy, if we're not, and it depends on if they get the feedback. Because a lot of times, we'll ask a district a question, and we're not getting any answers. So it's just, it depends. We say 6 months, it usually never go, it's gotta be extreme for it to go that long.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you, and have a great day, and enjoy the holiday weekend. We'll off next week.
Yes.
I know some are this week, some are next week.
My wife is off this week,
Yeah.
How does
You
that
couldn't
go?
coordinate that?
It's
All right, my phone number, my card's in there. Like I said, if you go home tonight and you're in that like halfway sleep mode and you think something, just pick up, give me a call. I'll answer you when I get back in Monday, okay?
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
All right.
And, thank you for everyone's patience, and thank you again, Mr. Schmidt. At this point, we will move on to audience remarks. Members of the audience are invited to make brief comments about items on the agenda and matters of interest to the district. Are there any audience remarks? All right, seeing none, we will move on to the board secretary certification.
Pursuant to NJAC 6A23A-16.10C3, I certify that as of March 31st, 2019, no line item account has encumbrances and expenditures which in total exceed the line item appropriation in violation of NJAC 6A23A-16.10.
Thank you. At this point, we'll move on to the approval of board minutes for February 27th, 2019, regular session and executive session. Looking for a motion?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Roseanne?
yes.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mrs. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Hyden?
Stay.
Mrs. Steele? Mrs. Liddy? Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Many clerk, please.
We have no need for this first executive session, so we will move on to the presentation of agenda items.
Under personnel, I'd like to move items 1 through 13.
I'll second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nuss? Ms. Roseanne?
Yes.
Mrs. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Hyden? Mrs. Steele? Yes. Mrs. Liddy?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Under policy, I'd like to move items 1 and 2.
Looking for a motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyden?
Yes.
Ms. Roseanne?
Yes.
Mrs. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. Liddy?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Under finance, I'd like to move items 1 through 13.
Looking for a motion? Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele? Yes. Mrs. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Hyden?
Yes.
Ms. Roseanne?
Yes.
Ms. Liddy?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Under special services, I'd like to move items 1 through 9.
Looking for a motion?
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hyden?
Yes.
Mr. Nuss?
Yes.
Mrs. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Roseanne?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele? Mrs. Liddy?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Under curriculum, I'd like to move item number 1.
Looking for a motion? Thank you. Discussion?
Mr. Biden? Ms. Van Zandt?
Yes.
Ms. Liddy?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this point, we will move on to unfinished business. Does anybody have any unfinished business they would like to discuss?
Last week we went to, Mr. Nuss and I to the county meeting, and it was very interesting. We discussed quality in the classroom. We were expecting more teachers to be there, but didn't. Those are great opportunities to get education with a wide range of school board activities and input from very interesting people. I would encourage people to do that. Yesterday, Representative Gottheimer had a little coffee at the airport diner. Assemblyman Space was also in attendance. I spoke with both of them and have spoken with Mr. Space and Senator Orho and Assemblyman Wirtz about our quandary we find ourselves in with regards to budget problems. Representative Gottheimer made a commitment to contact the governor to plead our case that we need more money sent back to our area, and I would encourage everyone, public, staff, board members, to call those folks, leave a message, send them an email, text them if you have their numbers, because every time they receive some sort of a contact with a person, it shows that we care and that we need to do things. They need to do things to maintain our support at the ballot box. Again, I can't stress this clearly enough. We get phone calls from community members, and we act on those phone calls. If nobody tells you that you're not happy with what's going on, at times you don't know. So I would encourage everyone to make those phone calls, because it's going to affect our ability to provide a quality education. It's going to affect our tax bills, and these folks are listening to us. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle they sit on, they all want to have a good record and a good rapport with the public, and I just would encourage everyone to do that. I also want to congratulate the kids in the play. I had the opportunity to go once, my son went twice. He loved it, I loved it. And I didn't get a chance to see the one at the Wantage school, but he told me that one was great too. And congratulations to everybody who did any work with that, and thank you for doing it.
Thanks, Mr. Hyden. Does anybody else have any unfinished business? We'll move on to new business. Does anybody have any new business? Seeing none, we'll move on to audience remarks. Members of the audience are invited to make brief comments about items on this agenda and matters of interest to the district.
I told all some people. You knew I was gonna do
That's why we had the second one.
Mr. Geller, how was the weather today?
It was better than the meeting a while back. We were getting at what, minus 50 degrees, was it?
And you know we won't be doing that again.
Well, for a couple months, I hope. I'd say my favorite subject, or my worst subject, taxes. Wantage this year, the Sussex-Wantage regional, is getting a triple whammy, as all of you I undoubtedly know. The state cut the funding. They want to put it to the illegal aliens and that, instead of funding schools and taxpayers. Your tax increase of $687,000 is totally obscene. Then when the equalization ratio came out, well actually it came out in November, we have one tax assessor of 3 municipalities. Those 3 municipalities had both extremes. plus or -6%. Sussex Borough one direction, Wantage in the other. So that shifted the tax load to Wantage Township from Sussex Borough. Then when the allocation tables came out, New Jersey Department of Education, Wantage added 51 students this year. Sussex Borough was down 8. I don't know what's in the water in Wantage this year, but which shifted the taxes again to Wantage from Sussex Borough in Sussex-Wantage. High Point did the opposite. Bottom line, Wantage is picking up 1.875% of the percent share more than last year. With just Sussex-Wantage taxes, Sussex Borough, on the average home assessed $179,000, will see a $145 reduction in their property taxes this year. I don't live in Sussex Borough, I live in Wantage. The average home is $260,000. We will see a $100 increase just for Sussex-Wantage region. The balance is supposed to be High Point, but Branchville is taking the real beating there. Home assessed at $254,000 will see a $183 increase. Sussex Borough will see a $105 increase, which sort of balances out to $145. Wantage, we're going to see a $9 decrease. If we add in the county taxes and everything, again, Branchville is going to see an increase of $270. That does not include their elementary school or their municipal taxes. So they're going to be seeing a tax increase $300–400 this year. Of course, that doesn't affect Sussex-Wantage. Sussex Borough will see a combined, again, I don't have their municipal taxes. They'll see a combined reduction of $95. Wantage, we're going to see an increase of $219. You can't afford it. It's utterly ridiculous. What you people can do to help is kill that $687,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy. Does anyone else have any audience remarks? Right. Seeing none.
No?
I'm sorry,
No.
I'm sorry, sorry.
Come on,
Kat.
Okay, real quick. Because Kathy Gomez, Wantage, New Jersey, Sussex, Wantage employee and taxpayer. I just wanted to thank Mr. Hayden for bringing up the town hall meeting, and I wanted to add on to what he had to say. The local for Sussex County had an action meeting this week, actually last week, and they turned it into an action meeting because there were so many people in Sussex County, so many districts that were bombarded and hit. I did not know that we lost $7 million in Sussex County alone this year. Because of the outcries, Trenton, NJEA and Trenton sent out somebody to speak to us, and it became an action meeting, and they are rallying and calling for us to start to strategize here in Sussex County and to give them ideas of what they can do to help us in this plight, and they are willing to try to find an effective way to take the plight of the districts that got hit so hard and will be hit further. So just know that we are trying to do our part. There were 4 of us from our district that attended. They're going to be following up with some other ways to strategize. One of the things that they did say was that our locals should be working with our boards, but we need to look at this as a whole and to be very much on board with each other, and I think we are. So just want you to know that we are, like you, we are looking into things and see what we can do to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, we will move on to executive session. Can I get a resolution?
Whereas pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education may exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting at which the board discusses any of the matters described at NJSA 10:4-12B 1 through 9. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education shall enter into closed session to discuss personnel matters. Now therefore be it further resolved by the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education that pursuant to NJSA 10:4-13B, the time, land, and circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public is when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Our executive session will be about 20 minutes and no action will be taken. We'll look for a motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For a motion, I'm looking for a motion to get back into public session.
I'll make that motion.
Looking for a second.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now I'm gonna look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. I mean, make it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.